Being a public power provider, I think the customer needs to trust the utility, and to trust the utility, I think you have to provide a good service. This AMI system that we have implemented with AMP was able to provide that service for us, and it was another tool in our toolbox.
AMI is a canopy network that provides connectivity, and it has the systems that allow you to connect to data. And what we've done in our AMI program is we've picked the best of breed solution and not focused on just meter reading. We focused on the fact that you need a high-speed, capable network that is going to need, your community is going to need connectivity, and it's going to need to be able to house data, analyze data, use data, create information to help you make decisions to better run.
The biggest benefit to me as a superintendent here for the electric is the fact that I'm looking at the health of my entire system. And it's power quality that comes in. It's just not a meter reading. It's the voltage, it's the current, if there's any blinks, what the voltage is on that meter. So the data that comes in is more of a 24/7 look at your system to see how healthy your system is on each individual customer.
So the AMI program was created really out of listening to members and hearing, their results from the deployments that they've had, and we heard overwhelmingly less than satisfied. Under the direction of the board really challenged us and said, hey, what can AMP do to help make these projects more successful? And so we took that challenge and we developed a Smart Grid Advisory Committee.
We got involved in the initial pilot program where AMP would reach out to the different meter manufacturers and the different AMI systems that were out there, and they brought it together for a committee, and I was part of that committee with a couple other communities, and we would look at the benefits, the good parts, the bad parts, and it was a nice broad spectrum research of all the meters and systems that were out there.
At the end of the day, we had 11 members that represent just under 100,000 meters that came to the table, signed letters of intent with really giving us the direction to create this program. So guided by AMP staff, but 100% driven by membership.
So when we were going through the AMI process to look at different vendors, I believe we interviewed 7 vendors, AMP being one of them. And what we liked about AMP was AMP went through the RFP process, did a lot of research, did a lot of background, came to the table with all that. There was no questions asked. It was, here's our product, these are the steps we did to give you our product, and you were confident, so I felt that made us confident in AMP.
We started in 2018 with looking for a new meter vendor or a different path than walking the town to get our meters. So we went with the AMI, which we could just broadcast it and it'd come right to our computer, to our house here in town. Yeah, we went with AMI through AMP because of the relationship with AMP, working with them one-on-one it's great. Anytime you want to talk to them, I mean, they're there for us. Anytime you got an issue, they're there.
AMP was able to bring a kind of a one-size-fits-all approach to where we could bring on electric metering and water metering. And that's what really sold us. In addition to that, it also sold us because the AMP was able to bring all the technical knowledge to the table, and they actually ended up going above and beyond what was initially thought, I think, and they ended up doing the whole MDM, the meter data management portion of the project, which is a huge undertaking for a small municipality like Zealand.
The driver for the decision, a lot came from being in that pilot program, knowing the depth that AMP went into it, and knowing that there were so many different options out there. I thought, they've already done this for us. They've laid the groundwork, they've done the background, that it would make it very easy then to kind of pick out what best system would fit for us.
What we really do is we tie it all together. We're there from the beginning of design, helping your community get enrolled, helping your community sign up, all the way through operations. And that's what really makes us unique. Throughout that entire time, we're your advocate. We act as an extension of your staff because you are our member, and you ultimately own and provide us direction.
I remember when Mike and I we were in our own offices, Mike called me in and he was like, so what do you think? And we both looked at each other and we both said, AMP. We both said at the same time. It was just kind of like an aha moment that like, this is the way we're gonna go, this is what we're gonna do for our future of the borough, and AMP has been our partner and will continue to be in this process.
As soon as we started deploying it, we were finding immediately we were getting blinks, short power outages, or we'd have sags and swells that we could attest to and look at. And those are the benefits that we didn't even know we were going to get when we got the AMI system.
When you talk about labor savings, and I mean, you take 3-4 guys reading 3 days out of a month, I mean, that adds up in a year. And when you could be out building pole line or, you know, service issues, putting in underground.
When you make a substantial investment like AMI, you may not save money as quickly as you think, but you gain efficiency immediately. And for us, that was one of the selling points is essentially if we didn't have to roll a truck and put our people in the field to go spend 3 days to read meters throughout the town, that's 3 days of work that those folks can go do something else.
AMI has provided a great resource for customer service for Hatfield Borough. As we always pride ourselves on, Hatfield Borough doesn't treat our customers like they're an account number. We treat them, we know their names, we know a little bit about each and every one of them. It's more of a personal relationship. And the addition to the customer portal, I think and we believe that just kind of made our customer service go up a notch. And for example, I will talk about just how our customers interact on the portal. It's just a really good tool that they can have basically live data at their fingertips.
The engagement with the customers it's a lot easier to explain to them than just shooting from the hip. Yeah, we had a guy that had a trailer that he stored his Harleys in, and he put a heater in there to keep them warm. And after 2 months or so, he's like, why is my bill so high? What's going on or whatever? So I got on there and I'm like, well, right here's when it started getting cold. I could pinpoint it right down to the day. And he's like, oh, I forgot about that heater I put in my Harleys to keep my babies warm.
We've actually caught a couple utility thefts with this. And we've also caught some water thefts with it too. Our system will also pick up our water and gas on that. Some other things are we've spotted some EVs, electric vehicles being charged, and once we know of those vehicles, we can monitor those vehicles and see when they're charging and see if they have issues. We used to be a responsive electric utility, and now we're proactive. So before we roll the trucks, it was because we got a phone call. Now we can monitor the system, see that there's an issue, and prevent an outage ahead of time.
The transition to AMI and to smart metering, it's really become an industry. If you look at all the industry standards and what's occurring in the power industry across the United States, you'll see that there is a shift to really a more efficient answer. And that could come in many forms, but I think AMI is a big part of that.
To further use of the AMI from what we're using right now is our plans are, would be a great outage management tool in that we can ping the system now and the meters can respond that whether they have voltage or not. So then that gives us a really good, real specific location of where the outages are still happening. So there's outage management. There's also, we're really looking forward to the customer involvement. Customers have access to their data. They can look at their history. They can look at what they're using right at the moment.
Some of the things that we have not tapped into that are available to us one is load management. And again, for peak shaving, also with smart thermostats, you can link it up with smart thermostats with that. That's the load management. There's load limiting. On load limiting, it's another license feature where on that, the meter itself will actually add as a load limiter.
The foundation of the future utility is going to be two things. It's going to be about connectivity and data. So whether you're talking about solar, batteries, you're talking about distributed energy resources, you're talking about customers wanting more, wanting choices, wanting to influence what that utility does, wanting to participate in providing, resources to that utility, you're not going to be able to accomplish any of that if you don't have the connectivity out across your distribution system. That connectivity, all of that information creates a bunch of data. And once you get that data, then you have to have these pieces of the AMI system, like the meter data management system, to manage that data, to turn that data into information.
I do believe that the shift to AMI prepares the Borough of Zelienople to better address changing needs in the electric industry in the future. These changes, I'm sure we can't sit here and identify them all at the moment, but there's going to be changes that come, and I do believe that the technology that we've put in place, it does better enable us to deal with more technology changes that are probably going to come in the future.
It's not a matter of if you need it, it's a matter of when you need it. I can see the time where everybody's going to need it. Looking back, I wish we would have done it sooner. And again, the amount of time that we have saved in the office from just rolling trucks, just that alone, just getting the readings from that is saves so much on labor. It'll pay for itself in a short time.
I mean, our biggest thing was labor at old meters, getting everything updated. Having your readings right now is a big thing.
Regardless if you use the AMP AMI program or not, AMP's stance is very clear. Our member communities should be deploying or on the journey to deploy AMI. The fact that you have AMI data and the fact that you can provide us that data would allow us to do better for you. We can do better planning, we can do better predictions, we can do overall better management of your wholesale power portfolio.
What I would say to you is do your homework. AMI is the thing that's coming because of all the benefits that you have available that it provides for you. And then know that AMP has done the work in the meter world, in the system world, and you can feel a comfort there, you can feel a trust there, and it's a good, very good option.
I don't know why we waited so long to jump onto the AMI system and invest in our infrastructure and our revenue stream. I don't want public power to become an afterthought, and I think we need to be forward thinking. I think we need to put public power first. I think we need to be more vocal about public power. And AMI is just a tool for us to be able to do that. And if the tool is out there and it's provided by a great company and a partnership like we've had with AMP, I don't know why you wouldn't jump on that and provide that for your community.